All right, y'all, we are live on this beautiful Friday afternoon. God bless everybody in the name of Jesus, Yeshua, the Messiah. I do pray everybody is super blessed. As well, guys, I was saying to buy the red, but now that we're here, I'm crapping my pants. And I'm so scared. Just as the comments say. And the real question is today, guys, are we really going back to $10,000 Bitcoin? Or are we going to $250,000 Bitcoin? There's only two options. $250,000 Bitcoin or $10,000 Bitcoin. These are the only two options. Why are these the only two options? Here's why, guys. When you sign up to be a crypto YouTuber, they tell you, whatever you do, do not be level-headed. Do not use common sense. Do not talk about the local areas of support and resistance and the ranges and the areas to look for the trades. No, we must be extreme, extremely extreme. That's what's going to drive viewers to the channel. Now, when we take a look at the thumbnail right here, we can see that it looks extreme. Wow, 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 that is a scary thumbnail. I would definitely click on that. A shirtless man with a bear? Whew. Who wouldn't click on that, baby? And I'm sure that's why you're all here right now, which is why you should like, subscribe, and click the bell for notifications. Because, guys, we are giving you the juiciest Bitcoin crypto YouTube updates here on YouTube. And here's something else that we need to keep in mind, guys. BLOFIN is giving away $1,000 today, no matter what. And all you have to do to win $1,000 is sign up to the link in the pinned chat. Okay, sign up to the link in the pinned chat. And we're going to be doing a $1,000 giveaway, guys. We did a $1,000 giveaway yesterday. We did a $1,000 giveaway the day before. We're doing a $1,000 giveaway today. So make sure to click the dang like button. Retweet the stream over on Twitter. And let's dive right into it now. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. What is happening here? Bitcoin has come down to none other than the zone in between the 786 and the 886 Fibonacci, the last hope for the bulls. I mean, literally, guys, this is the last hope for the bulls. We were saying this yesterday. We've been saying it all day. We've been saying it all night. We've been saying it all forever. This is the last hope for the bulls. The golden pocket, not the golden pocket, the 786, 886 Fib. All right, yesterday, we were expecting another move down into this zone, and right now it is trying to hold. This is the last hope for a higher low, the last hope for us to print a hidden weekly bullish divergence. And if this doesn't hold, well, then we're probably going much lower. Here we are, guys, taking the dump. All right, taking the dump. We were ready for it. I mean, we were literally ready for it, man. We were ready for it. This is not what I wanted to see, and I'll tell you why. All right, the monthly chart right now, it's about to confirm another drive of bearish divergence. I'm just being real. I'm gonna be real this stream. I'm gonna get some haters. I don't care. Here we are at the all-time high. I would not be surprised if the top is in, okay? What we do not want to do is close a candle below 124.5. The question here is, are we bullish or are we bearish? The end is for sure near of this bull run. Boom, boom, baby. We were ready for it, and now here we are, back down toward the end of the range, and the question is this going to hold or not? And we're going to be talking about it. And in general, I do have to say, and I will say this, my plan is still the same for Bitcoin right now. I do not buy any Bitcoin on spot until we are below $70,000. All right, we got to give a major shout to everybody in the chat right now. First of all, a major shout out to R Pink. He says that was loud. I'm so sorry. What caused the crash, bro? Well, look, everything that I just showed you in that little clip of past live streams that we've been doing for the past month of how the Bitcoin price is looking like we're about to get a big dump. All right. Shout out to Jackboy TNP782. They should also tell you to stop being a tosspot repeat for at least once a week. Well, here's the thing. They also tell us when we go to crypto YouTube school that if nothing really changes, then keep on saying the same thing you've been saying because, you know, That's all we can really do. Major shout out to Diamond D. I'm buying Bitcoin at these prices. I'm a long-term hodler, not trying to time the bottom. Shout out to Dusty Hunt. He says, misleading thumbnails, I'm not shirtless. Dang, you're right. Shout out to Red Elephant. Shout out to Tom P6632. Shout out to Crypto Coons holding it down with the wrench. Shout out to the Real Benja. Shout out to Mike4769. When the masses capitulate, then the real bull run will happen. It may take 2 more crashes, but it will happen. Yes, it will. Of course it will. Just like every single bear market happens every time, and then there's another bull market. Absolutely. Shout out to... I can't read these names, man. It really sucks. But shout out to Trader Geo, who's in the chat, apparently. And shout out to My Passive Freedom. Shout out to Trader Geo. He says they also tell you to put on fake hair. Bro, that is the truth, my man. That is the truth. And Trader Geo can confirm that that is what they tell you when you go to YouTube school. You have to be ultra extreme. Did I long? Yes, I took a long. I'll tell you why I took a long here, guys. All right. The reason why I took a long here is for the same reason I took a long yesterday. And there's a number of reasons why I took a long right here. Reason number 1 why I took a long is because we are in the zone of the 786 and the 886 Fibonacci, all right? Very clear, this was the last hope support. This is the place to be looking for a long. If there's going to be a long, it's going to be from here. Now, secondly, why else did I take the long? It is because we came down, okay? We made a low. We didn't quite hit the support at the 886. Then we got a bounce. Then we made a swing failure pattern with bullish divergences on pretty much all these time frames here. The 4-hour, ever so slight. The 2-hour, ever so slight. The 1 hour, ever so slight. Looking pretty nice. And then what happened is we came down to, after the swing failure pattern, the good old Fibonacci golden pocket retracement. All right, so we came to support, number 1. Number 2, we had a local long signal, which is a chickens drinking water, aka swing failure pattern. And then we come down to the Fibonacci 618. Okay, 618786. This is where you look for the retrace. If the bottom is in, this is where that first higher low is going to be. Do I think the bottom's in? Honestly, no. Honestly, no. I don't think the bottom is in yet. We have no local sign of strength. But this is the last of support. Okay, and we had to be looking for at least a little bit of a long trade from this area. So, you know, here we are, guys. Here we are. Here we are right now. And the fear and greed index for crypto, let's make sure we're up to date on the fear and greed index. 14. Now, Trader Geo might be asking, you know what? It's 2025 and grown men are still using the fear and greed index to trade? The answer is, Trader Geo, yes. This is the only indicator I use to trade. 14. This is the amount of leverage I use on my trades based on the fear and greed index. All right. Now, the fear and greed index, this is 14. It's very important, I think, that we understand that when you have the fear and greed index this low, this is not a bearish signal. This is definitely not a bearish signal. Does it mean to long right now? No, it doesn't. But you cannot have extreme fear in the market like this without expecting some kind of rebound, some kind of relief, something crazy to happen, because this is telling you that the sentiment in the market is bearish. And what does the market maker want to do? They want to wreck as many people as possible. And we have seen for the past 2 weeks only bearish things, bearish news, ETF outflows. People are selling Bitcoin. Whales are taking profits. The crypto market cap is getting lower. Money is leaving the market. People are selling right now. Okay, guess what? The market likes to wreck as many people as possible. If the majority are selling, what do you think is going to happen soon? Right? I'm asking right because here's the thing. When you're in denial and when you're scared, you want other people to be on your team, you know? It's like when you're in high school and like your friends start doing drugs, they try and get you to do drugs too so they don't feel as bad about being druggies. Right? We're going to pump soon, right? Now, back to the very serious chart. I think it's important for us to just understand that, yeah, things are pretty dang bearish across the board right now. In the moment. When I say things are bearish, I mean in the moment, things are very bearish. Bitcoin on thin ice after sinking in flight from risk. All right, we've got bearish things in the news right now. Basically, we're seeing things drop, okay? I don't know if you knew, so we had to read the news to find out, but Bitcoin and ETH fell sharply amid a broader retreat from risk assets. Stocks are dumping, everything's dumping in general. Bitcoin dropped another 2.1% to $85,000, and ETH another 2% down to a 4-month low. And over the past month and a half, we've seen $1.2 trillion come out of the cryptocurrency market. All right, this is more than just bearish FOMO. This is actual money leaving the market. $1.2 trillion. I remember when the crypto market cap hit $1 trillion. It was pretty groundbreaking. Now we see more than that wiped out in the last 5 weeks. Of course, why is this happening? Well, a lot of stuff is going on. We got the tech stock slump. We got concerns about the Fed not cutting rates in December. These are the fundamental things that are causing bearish sentiment within the market. Now, analysts are warning that the current conditions might mark the end of the recent demand wave in the crypto cycle. All right, one analyst, according to Reuters or whatever you say, says this is the most bearish they've been since the bull market started in January 2023. Now, here's the thing. I'm not one to read the news and read some random analyst and get my bias. But it's important to keep our eyes on what other people are saying, because the normies that don't trade the charts, this is how they are gauging the crypto markets right now. And some random analyst says, this is the most bearish I've been since January 2023. Well, here's the thing, guys. I'm sorry for talking in this voice, but sometimes when it starts, it can't stop. When I became publicly bullish on my YouTube channel, calling for 30K and 40K back in January 2023, the reason was because we changed market structure on the weekly time frame. This was our last lower high in the downtrend at 20,900. When you change market structure on a high time frame like the weekly, this tips you off. Hey man, guess what? You know, you get a call from your friend. Hey bro, what's going on, friend? Oh, what's that? Oh, we've changed structure on the weekly, huh? Let me take a quick look. Aha! For the first time since the all-time high, Bitcoin changed structure on the weekly. This marks a change. Well, guess what has just happened here, guys? The Bitcoin price has just closed a weekly candle below the last higher low on the weekly. Your friend calls you up. Hey, man, pretty cool bull run, huh? Drop the phone. We changed structure on the weekly? That's telling us there's a change here. So yes, guys, for the first time since January 2023, things are different. Not only this, but what else have we seen here? We have seen the fact that the Bitcoin price has broken down from the bull market trend line. It's not a good, pretty sight. Okay? Now, could we have seen this drop coming? Could we have known that this was the top? Well, let's see what good old Jason Casper was saying back in September and the day that we made that high. This is not what I wanted to see, and I'll tell you why. All right, the monthly chart right now, it's about to confirm another drive of bearish divergence. I'm just being real. I'm gonna be real this stream. I'm gonna get some haters. I don't care. Here we are at the all-time high. I would not be surprised if the top is in, okay? What we do not want to do is close a candle below 124.5. The question here is, are we bullish or are we bearish? The end is for sure near of this bull run. All right, so as we're at that point, all right, I would not be surprised if the top was in up here. Why? Because of all the reasons that we saw. We lost the candle. We lost 124,500. If we go to our 2-month time frame, we officially have confirmed a bearish divergence every single other time this has marked the top. All right. Now, is there hope for Bitcoin right now? Is there hope that the bull market continues? I'm going to be honest. I feel that more downside is the most probable, and of course, anything can happen now, but you cannot just confirm a 2-month bear div, lose the bull line support, change market structure on the weekly, and expect that this time is some super cycle, crazy Eric Trump, Donald orange candle pump thing. All right, you just can't expect that. Now, check this out. Bitcoin dives again. Man, This is a cool word. Definitely would make me want to read this article over another one that says Bitcoin drops. Bitcoin dives again in worst week in crypto for 3 years. Why this crypto doom loop will continue, by George Glover, all right, and Anita Hamilton, all right. The doom loop will continue, according to these two people on the internet. Why do they say that? Well, we're seeing the Bitcoin price drop below $81,000. Pretty crazy. 9.6% in 24 hours. It's below 34% of the all-time high. This is a change, once again, in what we have seen so far. In this bull run, we have not seen more than a 33% correction. All right, 32% here. Now we have officially seen, from the all-time high to that low, about a 36% drop. So this is a bigger drop than we have ever seen here in this uptrend. Let's just double check and make sure. What do we have here? Yeah, this is a bigger drop. This is the biggest drop we've seen in this uptrend. We have not seen more than a 30% dip this whole time since the bottom in 2022. Now, according to this article here, the two main reasons they see for this drop is because the Fed, all right, the interest rate decision. You know, look, there's that old saying, show me the chart, I'll tell you the news. The 2-month bearish divergence, in my opinion, is the technical reason why we're getting this drop. But the Federal Reserve hawkishness is definitely causing the technicals to play out in a weird way. Also, another reason this article states the doom loop is to continue is because we're seeing a broader rotation away from risk assets in general, specifically those tied to tech and AI. And so the analyst in this article is warning of what they call a doom loop scenario. As prices fall, sentiment weakens, and liquidity dries up. All right, it's basically a vicious circle. Price falls, therefore people get bearish, therefore people sell, which makes the price fall, which makes people get bearish, which makes people sell. Wow, groundbreaking doom loop theory here. Have you ever heard that before? Got to give a major shout to our man George Glover. Let's see, George Glover. We got a picture? Here he is. Man, oh man, my boy. Good old GG, Mr. Glover. We gotta hand it to Mr. Glover, We gotta hand it to Mr. Glover. All right, this dude really knows his stuff. Now, look at this. Think about this. Thanksgiving historically is a very bearish time for crypto. In the past, we have seen Thanksgiving lead to some serious dumps. Do you guys remember Thanksgiving 2020? You guys remember Thanksgiving 2020? I do. It was this right here. Look at this. This one purple candle was Thanksgiving. An 18% drop in the middle of one of the most bullish bull markets in the world. In fact, I'm pretty sure last Thanksgiving was the first time we didn't drop in quite some time. And that was probably because Trump had won the election, right? But we are now coming down to the bottom of this range here for our last hope. And this is something, a little bit of some hope, okay? I'm not trying to be all doom and gloom here. After all, I am in a long trade. All right, after all, I literally am in a long trade here, guys. And my take profit on long trade is literally 250,000 US dollars, okay? So before you guys say, Jason's so bearish, look, he's targeting $10,000 Bitcoin. His next take profit is at 10,350. What an idiot for being so bearish and looking at this whole run up as a giant area of liquidity just to be taken to come back down to the bottom of the range. Just like we came to the top of the range, got a little fake out, and we come down to the bottom of the range, get a little fake out. You know, what an idiot, because Jason didn't even graduate high school, okay? Before you say I'm an idiot, look, I'm expecting a $250,000 Bitcoin very soon from this exact long trade. And there is a little hope at the end of the tunnel here. Binance CEO, Tang, because, you know, CZ is no longer the guy, says the Bitcoin volatility is in line with most asset classes. In other words, what we've been talking about this whole time, the fact that the 4-year cycle potentially is broke. I mean, broken. Freudian slip there. The 4-year cycle is no longer a thing because of institutional money, because of ETFs, because of the big guys, you know, the guys that us crypto people hated, which is why we got into crypto in the first place, but now we love them because they pump our bags, but now they're dumping our bag? Wait, I don't know. But anyway, he's basically saying that the Bitcoin price is trading similar to other markets. He's basically saying that Bitcoin is still over twice its value that it was in 2024, and he considers this a healthy consolidation for the entire cryptocurrency sector. And he's saying, look, this is just trading like a normal market, Crypto historically has had a lot of volatility, insane peaks and valleys. Now we're finally starting to see things kind of just even out here. And you know what? I'd say there's a lot of validity to that idea, right? We can recognize the fact that it actually would be healthy for Bitcoin to come back down to this zone, to establish this very important zone of support, right? I mean, think about this. The total crypto market cap has in general remained the same from these highs here to these highs here. Like it got a little bit higher, but with this much money in the crypto market, right, it's kind of stayed steady for the past 4 years. It would be very healthy to see this level now hold its support. People recognize, okay, the crypto market cap is stable. We've seen it stabilize for a period of, well, however long 2021 to 2026 is. 5 years? I don't know. I didn't graduate high school. This would be very healthy for the crypto market. This would show us for sure that Bitcoin is an asset worth holding, that the volatility is not going to be as extreme as it was in previous cycles, and that it's going to start trading more like your good old-fashioned S&P 500, just another asset class that has, in general, uptrend, but it has its corrections, right? And we've seen some crazy things in the stock market. I mean, just look at this in general. Like back in March of this very year, what do we see for the S&P 500? A 22% correction. You know, we don't have to talk about the vid, but you know, during the quantitative tightening era, we saw 26% correction. But in general, it's up, right? In general, it's up. So people are saying, okay, look, now that Bitcoin, now that crypto is more legitimized, we're seeing institutional investing, it's going to start trading more like these other assets, okay? It's a very plausible theory. Now, I want to take a look at top-down analysis here on the Bitcoin price, okay? We'll take a look at the low time frames here and see what's happening. Now, again, guys, the Bitcoin price is, let's talk about what exactly is happening right now, okay? Why are we getting a bounce here? If we go to the monthly time frame, all right, the reason why we're getting a bounce from here is because we are coming down to the last hope support, which is the monthly order block that we made right around here in April. All right, in addition to that, we are coming to the zone in between the Fibonacci 786, 886. All right, if you were watching the stream yesterday, this was the last hope support to potentially get a bounce, and we are trying to get a bounce from this level here. Okay, that is why we're currently getting a bounce from this area. If we take a look at our 2-month time frame, what do we see? Well, we see, unfortunately, guys, that we have confirmed bearish divergence on the monthly. All right, let's clear everything off here. This confirmed bearish divergence on the monthly, we got one back here in 2018. That marked the top. We got one back here in 2021. That marked the top. We have one right here now in 2025. This marks the top. In my opinion, this marks the top, all right? Now, does it mean that we can't do what we did in 2021, where we made a double top and a higher high and took that liquidity before the big drop? No, it doesn't mean that, right? We have to understand when we're on the high time frames, there's short-term volatility that could happen. But in general, this, I'd say, is the top, right? I don't think we have it in us to come higher than maybe $130,000 1.786 Fibonacci extension before seeing more of a pullback here. What we do have the potential to do, in my opinion, is form a little bit of a range here and then eventually drop. That is still a possibility. But this is a very bearish sign on the 2-month, and in my opinion, it means the market does not have the momentum it needs to see another big push. And I'd say this is backed up by on-chain data. We're seeing big players take profit. There are some rumblings of people accumulating at these prices. In general, the actual money that we're seeing in the market is leaving, right? We're seeing over $1.2 trillion leave the market. We just don't have that momentum in order to give us another big push for like the 250,000 target people are talking about. All right, we go to the monthly. Monthly also has confirmed bearish divergences. The 2-week has confirmed bearish divergences. The weekly has confirmed bearish divergences. And the weekly is where things get really serious. The weekly is where things get very serious because the fact that we are coming down to the area between the golden pocket and the 786, I'm sorry, the 786 and the 886, this is our last hope to print what's known as a hidden bullish divergence continuation pattern. A hidden bullish divergence is where, as the price makes a higher low, all right, as the price makes a higher low, the oscillator makes a lower low. This is what we saw back here in April. The oscillator made a lower low as the price made a higher low on the trend line. Are we seeing that again happen now? We still have hope, right? We still have hope. We saw this also in September 2024, the hidden bullish divergence. If we cannot hold this area, then that is very bearish. And if we make a lower low, coming down below the $74,000 low, not only have we changed market structure on the weekly, but then we will officially be changing market structure on the monthly. All right, we've already changed market structure on the weekly. Remember, back here in June 2025, this was our last higher low on the weekly time frame. Remember, we were talking about how the reason why I became bullish in January 2023 is because we changed market structure on the weekly, right? We had the downtrend. We had the lower lows and lower highs, right? The high, the low, the lower high, the lower 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 low, the lower high, the higher low, and then officially now a higher high. Okay, change of structure. We have bullish divergences and a change of structure. Time to get bullish. Here we are now. What do we have? We have an uptrend. We have the higher highs and the higher lows, right? The low, the higher high, the higher 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 low, the higher high. And then boom, we just made a lower low. All right. And so is it time to get bearish? Well, look, Bitcoin is a bullish asset, but once we lose $75,000 on the monthly, now that's a monthly candle that will be coming back down below our previous monthly low at 82,654. All right. Right now, you can see the market is trying to defend this level, hence the bounce from this level. All right. The market is trying to defend this level. The bulls are stepping up. They're saying, look, we know if we lose this level, that's a really bad sign. If we're going to lose that level, then what? Well, then I'd say we're probably going to see us get a retracement and another move to the downside. All right, that's probably what's going to happen. All right, that's probably what's going to happen. We're going to be entering now into a downtrend. Now, even on the weekly time frame here, we do have to recognize the fact that we have made a lower low, which means even if we start to get a retracement from here, we do need to be prepared simply to just come back to the support resistance flip at around $107,000 and continue on with this downtrend, right? We do need to be prepared for that. Again, I'm not trying to be ultra bearish here, but this is just the reality of the chart right now. We have confirmed high time frame divergences. We have high time frame changes of market structure. We're in danger of getting super high time frame changes of market structure, and we're seeing money leave the market. We'd have to see something drastic happen here for us to have a reversal. And shout out to Frankie Candles. I was watching his stream last night. He kind of feels the same way I do. Like, we've been hoping and praying for some of these bullish things to happen, but they haven't been happening. And the more time that we're seeing bearishness, the more bearish confirmation there is, right? So what does this mean? This is a real make it or break it level, guys. We read an article yesterday where analysts were saying, and I agree with them, that if we can't hold this level, we are seeing a big change in the whole entire bull market uptrend. There's a change of character, whatever the smart money ICT. Is ICT even relevant anymore? For a while there, ICT was so cool. And then ICT, everyone started ripping off ICT. Even Lux Algo made like their own ICT indicator. Everyone's talking about fair value gaps and all this. Chotch, a chotch. You see the chotch on the boss? You got a chotch on the bots with the FSG, FGS, FGV, FGV on the CHART. Because the ICT, because the smart money. Smart money concepts, baby. We got some smart money concepts coming in here. We got ourselves a chotch. A chotch. All right, don't get hit in the chotch. All right, the bear's coming trying to grab Bitcoin by the chotch. Give the chotch a nice twist your chotch. You're gonna twist your dang chotch. All right, we see a change of character here. We've got ourselves a downtrend, an uptrend. Now we're losing, right? More than a 30% correction here. In danger of changing market structure, having a boss. We got a chotch and a boss up in here. We got chotches and bosses. All right, grab you from the chotch, punch you right in the boss. I'm gonna kick you right in the boss, baby. Grab you in the chotch. Man, these bears are ferocious and ruthless. So there's a few options we got here. Option number one is we come back down to, well, let's go ahead and pull a Fibonacci from the last low to the high. Go ahead and put on our 618. So look, I should 78K is our last hope, man. You know, be looking for, but really, if we're not going to hold 78K, then I'd say it's probably most likely that we end up looking to come back down to back test the previous market all-time high, previous market cycle all-time high. My target is around 65,000. We're going to go ahead, we're going to pull the volume from the entire cycle. You see the value area high of like everything is coming right in here. That's really gonna be crazy for people. But again, this would be the sign of, just like our good friend, the CEO of Binance says, just bullish consolidation, like in general, like healthy consolidation. It would be healthy consolidation to see Bitcoin retest this level. I mean, look at how key this is, right? Now, of course, that's going to end up being around a 50% correction, which I think is what is healthy. I think that is needed right now. I think that really is needed right now, around at least a 50% correction. Now, if this level doesn't hold, obviously that's really bearish. But I'd say our first major target should be around this area. That's going to be like below 70K. Let's call it 55 to 65,000. That's actually a pretty good target to have to the downside. Now, this is assuming that because of institutional money, and because the market is different, and because Bitcoin is now a more serious asset class that's traded by big players, we're not going to see the 70%, 75% drops anymore. Okay? This is assuming just a nice trading the sideways range, right? We got ourselves the sideways range right here, right? The low and the high. And we're just going to do some healthy consolidation. Now, if the 4-year cycle, let's say things continue the way they have, then what do we expect? Then we expect the price to come down to the 786 Fibonacci, just below $40,000. Jay, how could you even say such a thing? Well, first of all, every single market cycle in Bitcoin history, the bottom has been at the 786 Fibonacci every single time. Secondly, if we just look at this chart technically, like let's just look at the technicals only. All right, and I posted this on my Twitter the other day. All right, let's go to Jason Casper's Twitter. Make sure to follow me on Twitter. I actually posted this on October 23rd, right? Bitcoin was still at $109,000. And I flipped the chart upside down and I said, okay. I said, hang on. I said, what happens next? We have, now remember, this is the upside down Bitcoin chart. We have extremely bullish divergences. We have the price coming down, making lower lows. We have a local liquidity grab of the low. And then we start to get a reclaim here of this previous low. All right, so what happened? What would happen next in this chart? Well, we would expect that the price would see some upside, and that's exactly what we've had here. Now, where would we expect the upside to go to? Well, there's two main areas. Area number one would be the back test of the previous market cycle flip, right? Right around the golden pocket. You would say, yeah, you know what? It makes sense. We're in a powerful downtrend, that we would come up, get a little bit of relief, back test from resistance, and continue down, right? This is just what we would all expect. If this was the 10-minute chart, guys, if this was the 30-minute chart, and we were day trading here, everybody in all their VIP discords would be given this same setup right here. And all the discords that rip off all the other people's VIP discords would be copying and pasting this same setup here. They'd be like, you know what? Everyone's looking for this short. And rightfully so. Okay? We rightfully would be looking for that short. Now, Where's the next area that we would say would be likely to come to? Well, look at this, guys. We have ourselves here a falling wedge, a bullish falling wedge. Now remember, this is an upside down Bitcoin chart. The target of the wedge would be the beginning of the wedge. The beginning of the wedge is at the Fibonacci 786, right around here, right? Just below $40,000. And so this would also, very interestingly enough, if we're going to look at this, a target up there would literally, guys, I mean, isn't this crazy though, right? Depending on how you want to draw these trend lines here, this would allow us to basically be trading in a much more consistent pattern, right? And then, of course, our target, the bottom trend line of this giant wedge here, would be around over $200,000, right? So this right here is a potential. Remember, again, this is an upside down Bitcoin chart. We could be looking at something like this. If the institutional money is not going to prevent the 70% pullback, we would see the Bitcoin price continue in this epic giant pattern that has been in since 2017, right? So these are the two major areas I'm personally interested in if this support doesn't hold. Now, again, the key, the line in the sand, the level that everyone needs to have on their chart right now is going to be this one right here from April's low. April's low is super important. Now, remember what happened back in April. Okay, I just want to take us back in a time machine to April. All right? I want to take us back in a time machine to April. Because if you guys remember what happened back in April, I don't know if you remember what happened back in... Do you guys remember what happened back in April? Put a 1 in the chat if you remember what happened back in April. This support down here at around 74,000, if you guys remember, it was not quite as deep of a pullback as we wanted. In other words, everybody was expecting the April low to come a little bit lower. And if you remember what happened down here, also we left behind what's known as a poor low. A poor low usually symbolizes unfinished business, and a lot of people were expecting us to come down and take those April lows again, okay? Now, remember, if we take the Fibonacci golden pocket from the low that we made back here in August 2024, and we pull it up to the high, which at the time was right here, okay? Everybody was expecting 72K to backtest this support resistance flip right here and hit into the Fibonacci golden pocket. Guess what? We front ran it just by a little bit, and we left behind something called a poor low, right? Poor low oftentimes means there's unfinished business at that level where the market makers will push the price back down to revisit that area, either to basically get a double bottom where we just take it out like this and then bounce, or we actually come back down and break down and continue in the downtrend, right? So if you guys remember that April low, it's still a poor low. We still never actually hit key support there. We still never actually came to backtest that high that we made in March 2024. We front ran by a little bit of dollars, if you guys remember that, all right? And the only reason I was able to get into a long from here was because we came down and we got a little bit of a back test. This happened on a Monday. And yeah. And then we came down, we got a back test from here. And that's the only reason I was able to get into that long, because we had a local setup there. But yeah, we front ran this level. So this is such an important area to keep our eyes on here, guys, because again, I'd say if where we're at right now doesn't hold, we're probably going to go for this low. When we go for this low, we either need to bounce from it immediately, or we're probably going to come even lower. All right. If we close the monthly candle below 74.4, that is an extremely bearish change of market structure on the monthly time frame, in which I will say, well, I'm sorry guys, but I'll see you in 2029, basically. Right? That's where we're probably in for a year of sideways and down. And that's something else to remember too, guys. Remember, these bear markets are short compared to the bull. The bear market, basically, from the all-time high to the low, it was about 400 days or so. All right. In 2018, from the high to the low, about 500 days or so. Okay. So, you know, a year and a half compared to how long was the bull run here? Well, assuming the top is in, we're talking 1,000 days. All right. The bull runs are longer than the bear runs. And in general, if we zoom out, there's nothing bearish about the Bitcoin price. All right. So, that being said, remember, I still am in a long trade here, and my target still is $250,000. Okay. Why is my target so high? Well, as I said at the beginning of the video, as a crypto YouTuber, when you sign up for the job, they say, look, you need to be extreme. All right. That's why we're hiring you to be a crypto YouTuber. You need to call for insanely high targets or insanely low targets. All right. So my bearish target is 10K. My bullish target is $250,000. But again, the reason why I bring that up is this. Is there a chance, guys, that right now from the area that we're currently bouncing from, the monthly order block, the 786 to 886, that we actually do make another high? The answer is a resounding yes. The answer is a resounding yes. Why is the answer a resounding yes? Because as long as we're not making a lower low, there's a chance we could get a green dot in the weekly. If we get a green dot in the weekly, having not made a lower low, then that does open the door for a big push to the upside, potentially coming up to $130,000. Okay? There's a lot of things that have to happen in order for that to play out. Right now, there's no local sign of strength. Right now, there's no local sign of a reversal. Right now, the weekly isn't showing like it's about to print a green dot. So it's not something that we can say is going to happen or even looks like it's going to happen, but we can recognize the fact that it could happen so long as we stay here. All right? So long as we stay here. And so we're holding on for dear life with the Bitcoin price action right here. All right. Let's take a look at ETH. ETH is right now coming back down to 26,000. All right. Now we got to give a major shout out to our man. Let's see. Where's our man? Shout out to Jason Casper Clips. Hang on. How do I find Jason Casper Clips? I have to. Jason Casper Clips. There's a channel called Jason Casper Clips. Yeah, Jason Casper Clips, man. Here we go. Got to give a major shout out to Jason Casper Clips. All right. Because we had a guy named Felix who dumped ETH. All right. Felix dumped ETH. Isn't this crazy? Check this out. Felix said we're never going to come down this low on ETH again. And because he said that, I think that's why we're coming down this low on ETH. I'm crazy if I think ETH will ever be at 2,800 again. Man, Felix, you shouldn't have said that, bro. Stuff like that. It's like the people who long and absorb the longs, and because the people who are long the top price down. Okay? Felix, when you say there's no way ETH will ever see 2,800 again, all right, you are somehow shifting the molecular structure of the quantum mechanics of the created universe in order to cause the future price of ETH to go right down to 2,800, wick into your liquidation by 1 cent, and then reverse. So here we are right now, actually, ETH coming literally right down to that exact level that we were looking at. This, of course, is the Fibonacci golden pocket from that last low to the high, and we are currently getting a little bit of a bounce right from that level. And the reason why we came down that low, guys, is simply because we were unable to hold that very, very key support of, at the time, which was just under $4,000, right? This key level right here, we're like, if we lose this, we're coming straight down to that Fibonacci golden pocket. And well, here we are, guys. So this is not the strongest look in the world for Ethereum, to be honest with you. All right, I'll be honest. It's not the strongest look in the world for Ethereum. This is a key level. Why? Because we have this little consolidation range right here. But we have to acknowledge the fact that if we pull all the bull market volume, if we're going to close the weekly candle below 2,800, we are breaking down from this large range. The last time we broke down from the large range, we ended up getting a move down to the next major support. In this instance, if we take all of this here, that was the high volume node of pretty much everything we had. I'd say that if we close the weekly candle below 2,800, our next target is going to be 2,000. That's going to be the support resistance split from right around this area. around 2150. And of course, that's going to be major support. Major support. Depending on what Bitcoin's going to be doing there, we can expect either ETH to form a really nice inverted head and shoulders pattern, where we have ourselves the left shoulder, the head, a higher high, and then the right shoulder, and then we break out of that. It actually would look really nice. And we could actually see a bullish target of, let's see. Let's go ahead and put this on the chart. Right? Let's see our bullish target. This is log scale. Hang on. $20,000 ETH. I mean, hey, someday for sure. I truly believe that someday we will see a $20,000 ETH. But for now, let's see where this would put us. That's going to put us at about $9,000 ETH. You know what? That is pretty on target for our 2-to-1 Fibonacci extension, which is going to be right around the $10,000 level, right? This is coming in around 9,500. Yeah, so depending on how long this takes, guys, like, let's assume this time is different in the sense that we're not going to see a big old massive bear market, and ETH is just going to trade this sideways range here, then yeah, it does actually make a lot of sense that we could see something like this, where the price comes down, we get a little bit of range, we come up, you know, we get a little bit of this chop city, you know, we come back down to this area. By this time, it's the summer, it's the fall, 2026, typically where the bear market ends. We got ourselves a really nice shoulder, head, shoulder, we break out, and by that time, we're back into 2027, and we're seeing ETH finally hit those targets that we have been looking for quite some THYME. Some thyme, baby, thyme. And like I say, worst case scenario for ETH, and this is a really bad scenario, so don't take it too seriously. But really the worst case scenario, guys, is we just continue to trade this range until we're ready to break out. All right? We'll just keep trading this sideways range until we're ready to break out. You know, and in general, this is not the craziest thing in the world. I really don't think so. It's not bearish to see a massive run up on an asset and then consolidation for multiple years, especially when we know fundamentally Ethereum is a bullish asset, right? I am not bearish at all on ETH and smart contracts and Web3 and all that stuff, right? I'm not bearish on Vitalik Buterin. In fact, to this day, if I get a headache, I pop maybe 1 or 2 Vitalik Buterin with a glass of water, take a 15-minute nap, and boom, my headache's gone when I wake up. All right? It's a really good use case. You know, Vitalik Buterin is better than acetaminophen, and ibuprofen, Vitalik Buterin, all those drugs. Vitalik Buterin has the least amount of side effects. All right? It's the least volatile, apparently. Look at this. I want to take a quick look at Bitcoin Dom. By the way, guys, remember, we are giving away $1,000 today, okay? Quick reminder, we are giving away $1,000 via BLOFIN, okay? If you want to win $1,000, what you need to do is go into the live stream, go ahead and click this link here, BLOFIN, 10% cash back, 0.02% taker fee, 0% maker fee. Make an account, okay? And you will go ahead and be eligible to win the $1,000. All right, we're giving that away today. Something else to keep in mind, guys. Today in the Casper Crew VIP Discord, it is game day. All right, it is game day, which means we're going to be giving away thousands of dollars in the Casper Crew VIP Discord. All right, Casper Crew VIP Discord. Click the link to join at jasoncaspertrading.com. This is where we give the trade setups and let you guys know what we're doing, myself and the other instructors. It's where we gave the short trade from the exact top on October 6th in real time. All right. And today in the Casper Crew, we're going to be giving away thousands of dollars playing games. Also, in the Discord, if you click and join the free or paid Discord, there's a chance for you to win cash prizes every single week. All right, and the way you win those cash prizes is by collecting these things called eggs. Eggs are the Discord's currency. You go into the Discord, you can see that we have these things called eggs. You can use these eggs to enter into these prizes, win 200 bucks, win 100 bucks, win 50 bucks, win VIP Discord memberships. And the way you get the eggs is by participating in these live streams on my Twitter, by being active in the Discord. To claim your eggs right now, go to quests in the Discord, click claim, go ahead and type in bloodbath and click submit, and you will get your eggs. All right, VIP members get 5 times the eggs as non-VIP members, but everyone gets some eggs. All right. Also, guys, make sure if you like trading Bitcoin and altcoins, check out KCEX and WEEX and ZOOMEX. Those are the other exchanges I'm currently trading on right now. And these exchanges are regularly giving away money in order to get you to trade. Isn't that cool? It is cool if you know how to trade, okay? If you know how to trade, it's kind of nice that the exchanges are trying to incentivize you to trade on them. If you don't know how to trade, here's what you need to do. Go to Jason Casper's YouTube channel. And Jason Casper has created a free trading course. All right, completely free course. Go to playlists. Go to the Jason Casper free trading course. All right, this is an 18-part series on how to become a confident, profitable trader. 18 parts for free. Check it out. Guys, if we are truly heading into a bear market, let me just say, this is the time to actually learn how to trade. If we are truly heading into a bear market, which I feel strongly that we kind of are, man. It might not be as bad as the previous ones, but things are not looking good. The bear market is where real money is made, guys. I mean, seriously, when there's no hype, when there's no Trump winning the election, when there's no just nonsense that happens in a bull market, and everyone's down and out, and the people that are not really here for the long game are not in the picture at all. It's just you, the other serious traders, and the charts. This is the time to learn. This is a free course. I'm not even joking when I say the amount of information that's in this course, you could pay $1,200, $2,000 for literally a quarter of this information. I have paid $2,400 for the stupidest trading course in the world. That doesn't teach you any good thing. This is the real deal info for free, all right? Make sure to check it out if you're serious about learning. You internalize this information, all right? And I can't guarantee you're going to be a profitable trader, but I can guarantee if you apply the information, you're for sure not going to become one of those, oh, I blew 7 accounts, I lost $100,000, and my wife's going to kill me. You're definitely not going to be one of those. All right, worst case scenario, you lose a little bit of money. All right, I'd say average scenario, you're probably not going to lose any money. You'll probably break even, right? If you actually apply yourself and work on your discipline and keep a trading journal and all those things that you got to do, I do believe anybody can actually become a profitable trader if you take this information, internalize it, and actually apply it. Applying it is the hardest part. Anybody can come to the charts and do analysis. The thing that's going to make or break you as a trader is the actual patience and discipline that it takes to stick to your strategy with the good risk management. All right. Anyone can do TA. Anyone can identify where price probably will bounce. When there's real money on the line, what it comes down to is your discipline and your patience. And that's it. I mean, seriously, that is it. Anyway, let's check out Bitcoin dominance here. Where's the BTC.D? All right, Bitcoin dominance taking a poo. The Bitcoin price is about to show you what she's gonna do. Yeah, so look, I'd say this about the Bitcoin dominance here, guys. Pretty good chance we see it come back down to 54.5%. And, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we see it come down, lose this level, and start to form a little bit of a range here if we're going to head into a bearish time across the board for crypto, right? If we're actually heading into a bearish time across the board for crypto, I would not be surprised if we see it just come down here and chop around like this for a few months. All right. But in general, Bitcoin dominance, this is showing money leaving Bitcoin right now. Obviously, we've seen a lot of sell pressure in the last few weeks, right? In 3 weeks in a row, we've had some pretty bearish candles. 3 weeks, we've seen Bitcoin dominance go from 61% down to 58%. And this is happening in tandem with just total crypto market cap, you know. Money's just leaving the market in general. So it usually would be bullish for altcoins if Bitcoin dominance is going down, but not when everything's dumping. So you can see here also the altcoin dominance is going for the October 10th low here. We're about to close a weekly candle here in 2 days below this very important trend line that we've been respecting since September 2023. So it's really not a good look in general for the crypto markets. The only hope, I'd say, is holding the green box, because, you know, this is support, but in the past, the green box has been, and by the way, this green box is the last support resistance flip. In the past, the green box has been in conjunction with the channel, right? So now we're losing the channel. It's really not the best look, in my opinion, for altcoins in general. All right, we've seen from October 10th, $1.2 trillion market cap, and we're down now $400 million just from altcoins alone, which is not really the best look for altcoins in general, guys. All right, let's see what's happening with Bitcoin here. Okay, so we're having trouble reclaiming the local support resistance flip. This is something, honestly, guys, that I think we've seen here in general this whole way down, which is we keep rejecting, we keep getting nice bullish looking setups from key supports, but the first resistance we come to, we literally reject. All right, like this happened to us last night, where basically we lost this, you know, the $88,000 level. We try to reclaim, we can't even, and we fall. All right, it's just there's really been no strength here. Everything's been so weak. Shorting the bottom has been a successful like the last few days. Honestly, I've taken 2 bottom shorts in the last few days, which I rarely do, but the risk management's on point, so you know I can't be upset about it. But sheesh, man, this is pretty crazy. This is pretty crazy. I think I took a short from 100K, took the short from 93K. Where else? I forget where else I shorted, but man, it has not been the best for the bulls. All right, we really need to hold. Let's check out the order flow right now. We're gonna go to the 15-minute time frame, check out order flow, how she's doing here. So something else that has really characterized these upside pumps is a decrease of OI, right? These pumps are not happening on any real sign of strength. All right, as we're getting this move to the upside here, we are seeing open interest decrease. All right, open interest decrease as we continue to pump. That's showing us this is not any real strength. This is not any real money coming to the market. This is shorts taking profits. Shorts have taken profits as support. You can see even here, right? Look at this. The other day, we get a little bit of a move to the upside here. We try, right? Bitcoin's trying to get a little bit of a move right around here. Guess what? Open interest decrease. It's not any real buying coming in. It's just shorts leaving the market. And then when we dump, look at how the dumps are characterized by actual shorts opening up. We get these big moves to the downside, open interest increasing. We're seeing massive amounts of shorts. Real money is pushing the market to the downside. No money is pushing the market to the upside on these little bounces. All right, look at this. I mean, it's crazy, but look, even back here, this has been characterized by the whole entire time. We get this little rally here. Guess what? Decrease of open interest. It's not actual money coming in to push the price up. The dump that we got here, look, massive amounts of trades opening. All right, lots of shorts actually pushing price down here. Then these shorts close out, they're taking profit, and we get a little bit of a relief, but the relief is not being facilitated by actual money coming into the market. It's being facilitated by shorts closing out and low volume, right? Low volume It makes small money able to push the price up. Shorts closing out can cause a little bit of retracement here, but we can see this characteristic the whole way down. Look at this big dump here. Open interest increase. Look at this pump here. Open interest decrease. All right. It's pretty much been this way since we lost $100,000. Big money shorting, no money pumping. And the question is, when are we going to find relief? Well, we know right now that this is one of the potential relief zones. Pretty much the last hope that we have is in this zone between the 786 and 886 that we're literally down to now. However, we're not seeing any real money coming in here, and we currently we're rejecting from none other than that last support resistance flip that we have right here, right? So until we reclaim 85.3, there's literally no real sign of strength here. The only bullish thing we had was the local setup of basically a liquidity grab of this low, a higher high, and then a Fibonacci golden pocket back test. That was the only two long signals, and both of these, in my opinion, are just scalp-only trades. Could they turn out to more? Yeah, if we reclaim this, and then we could really start to squeeze a lot of those shorts. But a lot of the shorts are closing out too. It looks like a lot of scalping happening here. But we do see some of the shorts still open, actually. In fact, I want to take a quick look at this here. Can I draw a vertical line on this chart? I can't. But take a look at where my cursor is here, guys. We can clearly see, ever since we lost 85.3, there are a lot of shorts that have opened up under 85.3. So I'd say if we want to see a real pump, we need to reclaim 85.3, because then we would have quite a number of open shorts in the red, which could be fuel to squeeze them to the upside. But if we're going to reject from 85.3 right now, no real sign of strength, and lower prices are expected. Next level to the downside, 78. If we don't hold 78, we're going to see a big drop. We're going to see a pretty big drop, man. It's going to be coming back down, in my opinion, below $70,000. Below 70K. That's what I think. Now remember, guys, we're giving away $1,000. All right, we're giving away $1,000. We got to give a major shout out to our super chat. Shout out to JGD. He says, ETH Bitcoin filled the WDZ at the value area high. 1 hour RSI coiling. I'm not 100% sure what that means, JGD. I'm too stupid, but thanks so much for the super chat. We'll take a look at the ETH Bitcoin chart. So the ETH Bitcoin chart, honestly, this is the weekly. There is a real chance here that we do see ETH very much so outperform Bitcoin, because we are above POC, and this is just looking to get squeezed. The weekly money flow looking actually pretty bullish on the weekly. Let's be honest, it does look quite bullish on the weekly. This is ETH against Bitcoin. Check out your 1 hour time frame here. We do have some bullish div on the 1 hour, slightly. I really like to mostly look at this on the higher time frames though. And I would say the daily doesn't look the best, but the weekly does show some signs of hope. Now remember, if money's coming out of the crypto market in general, the fact that ETH is going to outperform Bitcoin doesn't really mean too much for us, right? As far as gains go, unless you're looking to stack your Bitcoin. So, unless you're looking to stack your Bitcoin. I have not really dabbled in that world of trading altcoin pairs, or I mean Bitcoin pairs, in order to stack Satoshis. I pretty much stayed in the USDT world. I've dabbled in the Bitcoin pairs, trying to move my coins in between one another to stack Bitcoin, but I found it's just easier for me to stick in the USD territory. But yes, we could see ETH outperform Bitcoin, given the fact that we're backtesting the POC, and we have some bullish divs. We could see a move up to at first, 1 ETH being 54.98 Satoshis, and then maybe going for the highs at 87.19 Satoshis. So, could be quite interesting, honestly, to see what happens here. Now, let's do our $1,000 giveaway. All right. Remember, guys, in order to be eligible for the $1,000 giveaway, you needed to sign up for BLOFIN using my link. And what I need you guys to do is I need you to spam the chat with your BLOFIN user ID number. All right, your BLOFIN user ID number. All right. Shout out to J-Pop, and he's warning you guys in the chat that Jason Casper was piling on shorts and was bearish in January 2024. All right, what was happening in January 2024? I'm sorry, 2025. Were it 2024 or 2025? Both. I was bearish in January 2024 and 2025. That's right. All right. What happened in January 2024? Oh snap! A 20% pullback. What happened in January 2025? Oh snap, a 30% pullback. Remember, this is a trading channel. All right, this is a trading channel. We are here for the volatility up and down. And both Januaries were bearish months, and my shorts made me a lot of money, and I was right both times. All right, not saying I'm always right, but just saying. All right, and I was also right about shorting and being bearish here as well. All right. Because in the moment and before it happened, I was calling for the drop. This is not what I wanted to see, and I'll tell you why. All right, the monthly chart right now, it's about to confirm another drive of bearish divergence. I'm just being real. I'm gonna be real this stream. I'm gonna get some haters. I don't care. Here we are at the all-time high. I would not be surprised if the top is in, okay? What we do not want to do is close a candle below 124.5. The question here is, are we bullish or are we bearish? The end is for sure near of this bull run. All right, so yeah, I'm gonna be bearish when the chart is bearish. And I'm going to be bullish when the chart is bullish, okay? That's one of the reasons why, if you're a trader, you should follow the channel, all right? Because we're going to tell you our outlook short-term and long-term, all right? So what I need you guys to do is I need you to go ahead and spam your user ID for BLOFIN in the chat. We're going to count down from 10, and we are going to pick 5 winners, all right? Now, you can't say me, Impulse881. You got to give me a user ID, all right? You got to give me a user ID. You guys ready? Here we go. Look at the user IDs floating on in here. The user IDs floating on in, baby. All right, we're going to count down 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, let's see who our winners are. All right, so Aaron, Change, Yarkuf, Maryland, Daryl, and whoever's under Daryl. So let's see here. Here we go. Yarkuf. Oh, crap. Did I really lose it here? Crap. Hang on. I'm going to have to do it manually. Yeah, I'm going to have to do it manually. I'm not going to be able to copy and paste these. Let's see if I can find them, and if not, I'm glad I took a screenshot. Here we go. Yarkuf, Maryland, Daryl, Flowbab, and the Crypto Killers. All right. Yeah. Oh, and no wait. I'm sorry. Aaron's our first winner. Aaron, Yarkuf, Maryland, Daryl, and Flowbab. All right, those are our winners. Aaron Change, Yarkuf, Maryland, B3X, Daryl Ufton, and Flowbab 12. All right, congratulations, guys. You are the winners. I'm going to send you guys over to BLOFIN right now, and they're each going to receive 200 USDT right into their BLOFIN accounts. Now, quick reminder, guys, in about half an hour, in about 40 minutes, we are going to be doing games in the Casper Crew VIP Discord. All right, Casper Crew VIP Discord. We're going to be doing games. All right, let's see. I've got a stop loss down here below the 786 because that's my invalidation. That's going to knock me out for about a negative 845. So it's going to be basically a $300 profit. I consider that a break even. Anything less than 1,000 or more than 1,000, I consider that a break even, honestly. So let's see. Bitcoin's taking another little bit of a tumble now that we're back from lunch. New York's back from lunch. The pizza is flowing through their veins, baby. The pizza is flowing through their veins, making change. We're trading here for days. CDW of the last local high. Let's see what's going to happen here. All right, major shout out to our winners. The egg code, guys, is Bloodbath. Okay, the egg code is Bloodbath. It's Bloodbath. If you want eggs, it's Bloodbath. Imagine naming a sex bluffing. Not bluffing, BLOFIN, BLOFIN. Imagine naming it KCEX. You didn't get a KCEX giveaway from last time? Was it yesterday or 2 days ago? Because it takes a while to process. It takes a while to process. Don't worry, it's definitely coming, alright? It's definitely coming. Shout out to Flowbab. Shout out to Preparing for War. Shout out to Mike. Shout out to Poppin 1994. He's warning you guys. All right, Jason Casper's always wrong. Okay, guys, a huge warning. Jason Casper's always wrong. He's definitely a moron, definitely an idiot. Don't listen to anything I say, okay? I don't know anything. Seriously, I literally don't know anything, all right? So this channel is for entertainment purposes only. I'm not a financial advisor, all right? So don't listen to anything I say, all right? Jay Poppin is warning you. And if you don't take his warning, look, he's warning you. You do what you want with the info, all right? You do what you want with the info, guys. Do what you want with the info. Plug Jake is not saying congrats. Major shout out to the moon. Look, the moon is in the house. Shout out to Carl. God bless you, Carl. I'm so glad to see you here, man. Happy birthday to Carl. All right, happy birthday to Carl. Shout out to everybody in the chat. $69K incoming, says Florida J. What's the acronym for the Fear and Greed Index? I think it's called the FAG Index, I guess. It's called the FAG Index. Thanks for bringing that up, okay? Thanks for bringing that up. All right. Pencil neck's going pencil neck. Congrats to the winners. What do I think about WEEX? Well, I'm trading on WEEX right now, honestly. I'm trading on WEEX right now. I don't have anything bad to say about it. I think the interface is a little clunky. The fees are low, which I like, but the interface is a little clunky. All right, but I'm currently on WEEX right now. All right. All right, so you never participate in the giveaways. You just know that they're fake. All right, so Ron Star is warning you. The giveaways are fake, and Jason's always wrong. All right, man, I don't know why you would like and subscribe to this channel, but make sure to like and subscribe to the channel, guys. Dropping more or rebound? Well, Alex J 3380. I do have to say that I've just spent the last hour and a half discussing exactly that question. The Bible channel, when will I go live on the Bible channel? Well, I said when I get 1,000 subscribers, I would go live on the Bible channel. Here's the thing, okay? Here's the thing. Oh wait, no, hang on. The Billy Casper Bible channel has somehow pumped subscribers up 161,000. My last video somehow has 108,000 views with only 160 likes, which is 1%. Which is this is not correct. This can't be right. Okay, this can't be right. 12 comments. This is very strange. All right. So somehow somebody did a little funny business on this YouTube channel here. I don't know what they did, but I know that you can get bots and stuff. This has to be a bot. This can't be real. But I did say 1,000 subscribers, I'd do it, and somehow we've gotten all these subscribers and views with which have to be fake. All right. So I will go live because I said I would. I don't know exactly when that's going to be right now, but I said I would do it, so I have to do it. All right. I got to stay true to my word, just like I said I was going to do a free course. And I did it, all right? So that's that, all right? That's that. All right, then I apologize, Poppin. You never said I was always wrong. Okay, I appreciate it then. I'm sorry. I don't mean to put words in your mouth, bro. Please forgive me, all right? Please forgive me. I said I was going to do a... What? Tino and Jay are the two best OGs. Tino is a real OG. Tino is a real OG. Oh, Ron, you were just joking about the fake giveaways. I see. All right, Code Magic just took a huge rip for the Casper crew. Yeah, that's right, the moon. 108 views with 12 comments. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? Look, guys, if you missed the giveaway, don't worry. Okay, here's why. Here's why. Right now, it's the it's the bear market. There, I said it. Exchanges are really trying to get people to trade. All right, which means they're trying to reach out to all the YouTubers to get people on to the exchange. Which means because KCEX gave away $1,000, or because BLOFIN gave it away, BLOFIN started it. All right. Then KCEX said, "Hey, look, BLOFIN's doing that. Now we're gonna do that." Now ZOOMEX is saying, "Hey, KCEX and BLOFIN are doing that. Now we're going to do that too." All right. So all these exchanges now are trying to give away thousands of dollars to get you to trade. So look, you want a little bit of money, just stick around. We're going to be doing a lot of giveaways. All right. I got all these exchanges trying to give away money. So it is what it is. Now what you do with that money is up to you. All right. And also, one more thing, guys. If we can get 1,000 likes within the first half hour, we're going to be giving away. We are going to be giving away 1,000 USDT. All right. We're going to be giving away 1,000 USDT. What do I think about the Schofield Bible? I think it was hijacked by the Illuminati to trick you into leaving in a pre-tribulation rapture, just to deceive you. You know. Going back to Darby, who was a secret Jesuit insider or Illuminati or something like that. I don't know. I've never read the Schofield Bible. I know it's been very, very influential to dispensationalism. I'm not a classical dispensationalist. I don't know what I think about the Schofield Bible. And when I say Schofield Bible, I mean the commentary. It's a Bible commentary, all right? I don't know what I think about it. I've never read it for myself. That's what I think. I don't know. I never read it. But I've heard the conspiracy theories. I've heard them. All right? I've heard them. I've heard the conspiracy theories. All right? All right. Shout out to Pop in 1994, bro. God bless you, man. Look, I'm sorry if I misinterpreted your language. All right? I apologize. Seriously. All right? Why is the Book of Enoch not in the Bible? It's a great question. The Book of Enoch is not in the Bible because it's considered deuterocanonical. It's considered part of the pseudepigrapha, which means nobody thinks it was actually written by Enoch. Most people think it came out of the Second Temple period, thousands of years after Enoch lived. And so, therefore, it didn't meet the criteria to be considered part of the biblical canon, except for the Ethiopian church. That's why Enoch is not in the Bible. Is Enoch a valuable book? I believe yes. I believe Enoch is a valuable book to read. Do I believe it contains truth? Yes, I do. Do I believe that it contains prophecy? Absolutely, 100%. You know, one thing we know for certain, the Book of Enoch existed before the birth of Jesus. And there's a lot of messianic prophecy in the Book of Enoch that causes me to believe without a shadow of a doubt that indeed it's a book that contains inspired truth. That's how I look at it, all right? That's my view. Hate me, love me, or be indifferent. Hate me, love me, or be indifferent. Alec, even Alec heard some S about the Schofield Bible. Do I accept crypto for VIP? I do, but you have to pay in the discount. You know? I'm sorry, you have to pay in the Discord. Go open up a ticket in the Discord. You know? Did I time you out in the Discord? I never time people out. I do never time people out. When the David Icke collab, that would be pretty crazy. Can you imagine? That would be a pretty crazy collab, man. Can you imagine that? You know? Could you imagine that? Guys, in about half an hour, it is going to be game day in the Casper Crew VIP Discord. We're going to be giving away thousands of dollars playing games. Alright? It's going to be really fun. Alright? Let's see what happens with this Bitcoin long trade with our target at about approximately $250,000. Alright? Can you imagine that? Let's just... We're going to be getting about $100,000 with this position size. All right, I'll take it. 100K. There we go, baby. There we go, baby. Am I long or short? I'm in a scalp long. This is a scalp long until proven otherwise. And I'm in a swing short from the October 6th short that we took in the Casper Crew. And I'm also in a little short that I took last night. That was actually just a short scalp here. I was trading this range right here. We came up and we rejected from the... Why did I take the short? I forget why I took the short. There was a technical reason when I took it. I must have been trading this local range right here. I saw that we rejected from a key area. Yeah. And then we came up to the local golden pocket 786. And so I took a scalp short with my target at the low of the range for a TP. Numero uno. I woke up and I took a TP numero dos because when you wake up to something like this, you don't not take a TP numero dos when you're shooting for this, right? That was a really good risk to reward in the first place. Yeah, so I'm short and long. I'm in multiple trades, all right? I haven't said ambiguous today. You're right. I haven't said ambiguous today. Can you shout out the best ice cream? Van Ice WallowCon? I don't know. I would love to collab with Crypto. Shout out to Splashfire Films, who's back from the squats. Man, you gotta love squats. Honestly. I'm good. You gotta love back squats. Am I looking for a bit of a bounce to the upside? We are at Aaron Judges 263, the macro line in the sand, which is the macro area between the 786 and the 886 fib. This is a big level. The only other level we have here is going to be the... Here's the other level that we would have. It's going to be our $72,000 level. So this is a key support right here, but if we don't hold that, then we're looking at our golden pocket pull from August 24 to the all-time high. Confluence with the weekly order block down here at 78. 78K. 78K is the next like area of hope. So potential bounce from here is not looking the best because we're rejecting from the support resistance flip. But it is a key support based on Fibonacci. If this doesn't hold, we look for 78 as our next area, but really I'd say all probabilities signal a much bigger move to the downside, but we have to understand where the supports are. All right. Have you ever heard of Bill Cooper? Yeah, I've heard of Bill Cooper, but I can't tell you exactly what he's done right now. Why does everyone call it manipulation when we go down, but not when we go up? That's a good question, the moon. I don't know, Carl. I don't know. That's a good question. I think because money creates emotion, right? Money creates emotion. And then Crypto's doing a lot of health videos, some good info. I think he's inspired by Dr. Berg. Probably, he seems to be inspired by the Dr. Axe-ish people, right? But who knows? Honestly, who knows? I've actually quite enjoyed MM Health's videos lately. I'm glad to see MM Crypto talking about his faith and talking about health. Two things I myself am quite into. Health and faith. Faith and health. You know? XO charts or Market Monkey? I really think Market Monkey is the way to go. Right now, XO is super glitchy, hard to use. Market Monkey, I love. Why do I love Market Monkey? Well, you can draw on the chart. Like, you can pull fibs on the chart. You can draw on the chart all from your browser. There's, like, tons of indicators. So many. So many. Like, that were made by the community. Like, tons of them, man. And it's basically, like, it pretty much makes TradingView absolutely obsolete. All right, if I wasn't so used to TradingView, I would only use Market Monkey, honestly. But I have a lot to learn with Market Monkey. What's the easiest food to grow? Potatoes, potatoes, potatoes. I should do a health channel. I don't think I can do it. Turkey on Thanksgiving, of course. He had a good video today about cocaine. I saw that, Splashfire Films. You took a small long on ETH. Yeah, I mean, you know, maybe this is a place where we get a bit of a bounce. A bit of a bounce. How much was it to set up my standing desk? Well, my father-in-law built this for me, so it cost me nothing. Am I a full-time preacher? No, I'm not a full-time preacher. Why does your one true loving God allow innocent, sweet children to die horrific deaths from bone cancer? Well, that's a very, very loaded question, my friend. But, here's my take on it. All right, the problem of evil. The problem of evil. All right. I think we have to first recognize the fact that if we are judging outcomes of events, for example, innocent children dying or innocent people dying, if we're judging these things as good or bad, that means we are acknowledging the fact that we live in a moral universe where things can be objectively good or objectively bad. And if things have moral objectivity, then that necessitates a moral lawgiver, right? Calling something bad assumes a real moral standard, which requires a moral law, which requires a moral lawgiver. So if there is no God, then there's no bad or good, only personal opinions. But the very fact that we all recognize that there is evil points us right back to the fact that there is a God. So then the question is, if God is all powerful and all loving, then why could he possibly allow something like this to happen? Well, I think also it goes back to the fact that humans are not robots. We have something called free will. God told Adam, in the day that you eat from this fruit, you will surely die. There's going to be separation between you and God. You're no longer going to have access to the tree of life. And so humanity is infected with a sickness, and the sickness leads to death. And it's a sickness that not only leads to physical death, but it also leads to spiritual death in the sense that, sometimes within the creation, things go wrong. For example, cancer. This is a sign that there's something wrong with the creation. There's a sickness in the creation itself. But then other evil is caused by free agents, right? Like murderers, things like that, which shows there's a sickness within the heart of man. So the creation itself is corrupt. The heart of man itself is corrupt, right? So God can create free beings who have the choice to, let's say, Adam and Eve did have the choice whether or not to eat the fruit. The result of them eating it means, well, the creation itself is corrupted. And so now we're going to find things wrong with it. But people have free will as well, which means if God is going to remove all bad things, he's going to have to remove every single human because we're all evil. So God chose to have us live in an existence where, love is real, free will is real, instead of a robotic universe. Now, again, I think it's really important to remember, when God created the world, there was no cancer, there was no sickness, there was no death. All innocent people will die, period. Doesn't matter if they die of bone cancer or natural causes or they get hit by a bus. The Bible says the creation itself is groaning under the curse. Now, what is God's answer to evil? What is God's answer to bad things happening? God himself is not a stranger to suffering. All right, the Creator God himself is not a stranger to suffering. According to Scripture, God himself enters into his own creation that has been fallen, and he himself suffers evil. He himself is tortured to death, the Creator himself, one of the most excruciating, humiliating forms of death, and he was the only innocent person who ever existed. And God overcomes this evil through his death and resurrection. All right, God, he suffers with us, he suffers for us, he conquers evil through his resurrection. And so now humanity can be redeemed. Now we can be set free from the curse. Now, this is a spiritual rebirth. It says in the scripture that God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whosoever believes in him would not perish but have everlasting life. If you make the decision to repent of your sin, meaning you have a change of mind, you say, I recognize I'm evil, I desire to follow God. Because of what Jesus did, he as your representative died for your sin. He as your representative rose from the dead, conquering death, conquering the curse that makes everybody die. It says if you put your faith in that and repent from your sin, God will cause you to be born again as a new creation filled with his Holy Spirit. And so when the body dies, you live on. And Scripture promises an actual resurrection from the dead. And God ultimately will eradicate all evil. Evil has a beginning. There was no cancer in the beginning. Eventually, God will eradicate all evil. Now, here's the thing. Remember what I said. In order for God to stop all bad things from happening, he would have to kill everybody. Okay? But because God made it possible for you to be born again as a new creation, when he eradicates all evil, it's not going to eradicate you. Because when Jesus died, it says, if you put your faith in him, your sinful nature also died with him. Which means when God comes back to judge the world and eradicate all evil, you have already passed through judgment in the Messiah, in the Christ. And so God can eradicate all evil without eradicating you. That's the good news. So, from our perspective, it's very difficult to wrestle with these ideas. But the one thing we can know for certain is there's a moral law that we all recognize is true. There has to be a moral lawgiver. And if God is a just judge, which we know he is, he's going to make everything right in the future. Remember, we exist in a very tiny little fraction, a little sliver of time. Our life is so short. We cannot see the bigger picture. God is existing outside of time. He sees everything at the same time from beginning to end. And we can trust that he is going to, in the end, make everything right. He's going to make everything right. He will execute perfect justice. And I trust that he will. But from our perspective, it might be a little bit difficult to see because we exist in this little sliver of time. That's how I would answer that question. But that's a good question. Thanks for asking it. Now, guys, it is going to be time for games in about 15 minutes. All right. So I'm going to head out. Okay. I'm going to head out. If you're in the Casper crew, make sure to stop by for games in 15 minutes. God bless you all. Have a great weekend. Peace.